After last week's race that saw Neymar Mig take the checkered flag to win in Silverstone, we go to a track where it is even harder to pass. From dirty air to the streets. We are here at Monte Carlo for the first time in 2 seasons for Tier 3. Hello everybody, welcome to RPL Tier 3 Season 6 Round 7. And as we said it, we are in Monaco for the Monaco Grand Prix. I am your commentator, BNick714. Great to be here. And we are in for an absolute treat. It is the first time since Season 4 where Monaco has been on the calendar for Tier 3, so it should be a very exciting race. Expecting DNFs, thrills, spills, crashes, and all things in between, except overtaking. It's all going to be about qualifying here today on these world-famous streets. As, at the moment, it's a bit of a quiet lobby with only 14 people in at the moment. Unfortunate, but oh well. We shall work with it. But a couple of drivers are having issues getting into the lobby. SV's just joined. He took a while to get in. Another one is RPL Savage. He is also struggling to get into the lobby. I'll see if I have him added just so I can get him in real quick. If I do, which I don't think so. Oh well. Ah, there he is. We'll go ahead, add him. But looks like they are now getting ready to ready up here momentarily. 16 drivers in. We'll go over them real fast before they load in. Bar 2 and VRL Mickey driving for McLaren today, looking to bounce back after only one car raced in Silverstone last week. You got Resilience and Bezestio in Ferrari, Rhythms and Neymar in for Red Bull, Ryan Ocon and Ardell at Mercedes, Jensen Snowy and SV at Aston Martin, Mertkan Yalcin, I don't know if I've said that right, is in the Alpine, Timbed in the Haas, Gobert in the V-Carb, the Salaban, and welcome back Trat Racer, he's in the Williams today, and then Matty in the Lone Sauber. 16 drivers showing up to start qualifying. But we are loading in for what is always one of the best qualifying sessions in all of racing, Monaco qualifying. This one should be very exciting. And we'll have a look at the Drivers' Championship real fast, which hasn't been updated in a while, because EXO's been sleeping on that, but, Rhythms should be leading this World Championship. Should be. So, was it Rhythms? Or is it Kylan? You know what? I don't know. All I know is EXO should update the standings. That's about it. But we have loaded in here at Monaco. And it looks dry, but it also looks very cloudy. So we'll see if we get any potential weather. But we'll wait for the first of the drivers to get out onto the track. We'll see who comes out first. I see a Ferrari. And that looks like the Ferrari of Resilience. And a couple other teams coming on out. I see the Alpine of Merken Yeltsin coming out of the pits first. And confirmation from SV, we do have a dry race on our hands, and you gotta watch out for that pit exit, because what Resilience just did would get him a penalty in the real race. You cannot cross that pit line. It has costed drivers before from a chance at winning this fabled race. So they gotta make sure that they're very careful. But Merken Yeltsin will be the first one to set a valid lap here in qualifying, or a lap of any sort, we should say. I see Resilience said something in chat earlier. Have we got provisional driver standings? I don't think we do, because they haven't been updated in a while. They haven't been updated since Spain, so none of the points from the Silverstone race have been added up. We'll just have to wait for it. Hopefully they get added up soon, but Merken Yeltsin will be the first driver to set a lap time here through turn 1. Clean as you like as we go on board, up Barrage into Casino Square. Fourth gear, getting on that inside curb. You really want to stay off that curb because it can unsettle the car and cause trouble. But 19-0 in the first sector, benchmark, into the hairpin, the famous hairpin corner. And oh, look at the tank slapper there. That is not what you want as you go through the tunnel. High speed section, 170 miles an hour, braking into the swimming pool section. That wall will catch a lot of drivers out on the way towards Tabac. High speeds here, 111 miles an hour at the slowest through the swimming pool section. One of the coolest camera angles you'll ever see in motor racing. On the way towards Rascast now. First gear for Merken Yeltsin here. Then through Antony Nodes, the final corner, back to the start-finish straight. We'll see what the benchmark is. It's a 12.3. A 112.3 will be the first lap time, and Neymar destroys that with a 10.4 of his own. SV with an 11.6. Resilience comes across the line in second as well. The McLaren of Bar 2 has also just started a lap. We'll see what he has going for him. And just so anybody knows, the Salaban has a quali ban. So he's in a Williams, and ooh, that Ferrari might have gotten in the way of Bar 2 through the first sector here. But for anyone that wonders, for quali bans, the Salaban does have one of his own. Through Portier now goes Bar 2, trying to keep things quick. Red Bull 1-2. It's Neymar leading Rhythms. Resilience in third. Good start to the session for them so far, but we continue to watch Bar 2 through the swimming pool section, looking very quick in the Chrome McLaren. Through the swimming pool section we go. This looks like a quick time here from Bar 2, keeping it off the walls as best as he can. Through Rascast, that looked quick, into Antony Nodes now. DRS wide open towards the line. Will he beat them? Yes, he will. He beats the Red Bulls with a 10.2. Good time there from Bar 2. Couple more cars on laps. Matty is one of them. Timbed does a 12.3. And I believe VRO Mickey is also about to finish a lap here. He is. He's going to come across the line. Let's see what he is capable of doing. And he goes fourth fastest. Good time, but behind the Red Bulls. So we'll have a look at Matty now. Let's see if he can go anywhere representative. He can't. Slowest of the runners so far. Gobert on a lap of his own. He's coming out of Antony Nodes now. Let's see if he can put himself up towards the front. We'll go smack dab in the middle of the midfield with a 12.2, I'm sorry. That'll put him 8th fastest. Respectable effort for him. Part 2, not on a lap right now. Ryan has invalidated. How he's done that, I don't know. This is one of the hardest tracks on the calendar to invalidate at. Ryan smacks the wall out of the swimming pool section. So we'll go to Possestio. He is yet to set a lap time, so we'll see what he can do. Into the swimming pool section, flirting with that wall that sticks out right there. Trying to push the limits, and he's doinked the wall out of Tabac. Pushing the limits a bit too much there, Possestio. Any wall tap will lose you time unless you hit it in the right way that gains you momentum. But through Antonino's he goes. DRS now wide open towards the line. It's a 10-6, basically a 10-7. That'll put him in 5th place behind the Red Bulls and the McLarens. Decent effort for him. Ryan trying again. I don't know if he's just been impeded by his teammate Ardell here. I don't know, but it looked like he did. That is not what Ryan would have wanted. Because that'll destroy any hope for a run from him, and that'll destroy Jensen Snowy's lap. He's invalidated in turn 1 at Sandoval. One of the worst places you can invalidate, but VRL Mickey now, he's gotten through Sandoval and through the first sector. Let's see if he can finish out the lap through the Nouvelle Chicane. Right? Pretty sure. Yeah. Doinks the wall through Tabac, through the swimming pool now. Purple second sector, 2/10 up. That would put him at around a 0.3. A little bit of traffic ahead of him, though. See if it gets in the way. It shouldn't, and it doesn't, because that Ferrari pits. That's Possestio. But here comes Mickey across the line. Is it enough for pole position? No, it's not, but it's enough to set the exact same lap time as Neymar, who is also on a lap of his own right now, as he comes out of Portier, through the tunnel now, blasting through into the Nouvelle Chicane. Goes Neymar as he tries to put himself into pole position, which currently belongs to Bar 2, and he's 4/10 up just about through 2 sectors. This is a really good showing here from Neymar, who won last week. Could he be the first driver into the 109s? We're about to find out here in a couple seconds' time. He's done it! A 9.8 by Neymar. Big lap time there from him. And Resilience goes just as good with a 10-0 to put himself into 2nd place. Mickey's invalidated. Bar 2 on an outlap. Rhythms has also invalidated as well. So, a couple big hitters have invalid lap times. SV on a lap time. Jensen Snowy on a lap time as well. We'll check out Jensen Snowy first, as he hasn't set a valid lap yet. It's him, Trap Racer, and Ryan Ocon, but both Williams have quali bans, so it's just him and Ryan Ocon yet to set laps. Yellow flag in the 2nd sector. That is a VCARB letting, I believe that's a VCARB, letting drivers through. But here's Jensen. He's kept it valid this time. He'll get his first proper time on the board. Let's see if it's representative. It's a 12-1 that puts him in P10. Decent effort from him. Let's head over to SV now, the other Aston Martin. They haven't had too shabby of a season, but let's see if they can improve. SV goes faster than Ardell. Good time there from SV. Remember, he won here. He's won here in the 3rd tier before. He won at Monaco in Season 4. So, he knows what it's like to win on these streets in Tier 3. In the grand scheme of the Constructors' Championship, of course, the only numbers I have are prior to last week's race in Silverstone. But Aston, as of Spain, we're sitting P7 in the Constructors' Championship on 16 points. Of course, with limited numbers this week, they have a really golden opportunity to bring some big numbers in terms of points in. With SV in P7 and Jensen P10, it's not looking too bad, and that's a bad line through the chicane for Timbed, because he's invalidated. Not what he would have wanted. Gobert on a lap of his own. He is half a second up through the first sector. Half a second would put him in P9, which would be a decent time for a V-carb. See if he could get himself into the 111s. How about that, though? 1 second up through 2 sectors. Gobert is really locking in here through 2 sectors, though, but he's had a bit of a moment through Rascass, and he's had a second moment through Anthony Nodes as well. He's going to lose some time here in the 3rd sector, but he's still found a second of improvement to go P9, but I reckon it could have been P8 or even P7 had it not been for those tank slappers through the final 2 corners. But a P9 is still a very respectable effort for V-carb, who sit 8th in the Constructors' Championship just behind Aston Martin. Exactly what they need. Timbed on another lap right now. Let's see if he can find time. Speaking of finding time, Rhythms has found enough time to go 4th fastest with a 10.3. Good showing there from Rhythms, but we watched Timbed, who is half a second up through 2 sectors, and now he's invalidated, this time in the swimming pool section. That'll do it for Timbed, who comes into the pits. Now, what he would have wanted. These 2 chaps not on laps at the moment. Bezestio, I believe he is on a lap. He's pushing through the tunnel, so I can only assume he is. Almost turned in too early into the Nouvelle Chicane. That could have been disastrous. But into Tabac now. Bezestio trying to mix his way into the front-running pack, but he's only 300ths up through 2 sectors. Has a huge moment out of the swimming pool, as I believe that was Gobert letting him go at the inside of Rascass. But here comes Bezestio across the line. He's found a 10th of improvement. He's improved his time, but not his position. 2.5 tenths improvement here for VRL Mickey. This could put him up the order, and it does. 3rd fastest for Mickey with a 10.1. But how about this from Resilience? He has found half a tenth in Sector 1, and that's a purple first sector as well. All Resilience needs is 2 tenths to put himself onto pole position provisionally ahead of the Red Bull of Neymar. Red Bull, of course, cruising away in the Constructors' Championship. They have won so many teams' titles here in the 3rd tier. They have always had one of the best lineups. The Resilience comes through to back now. Ferrari sit 3rd in the Constructors. Actually, after their fantastic performance in Silverstone, they should be 2nd in the Constructors, but they'll be a long way behind Red Bull. And Resilience decides to back out of that lap. Only one driver on a lap at the moment, and that is Jensen Snowy, who is about to be the only driver on the track right now, as Mickey, who's on a cooldown as well, is going to come into the pits, and does. Jensen has the whole track to himself, and I stand corrected because the Sauber of Matty comes out of the pits, but let's see what Jensen can do here through Rascass. He's found 4 tenths of improvement through the first 2 sectors, out of Anthony Nodes, DRS applied. He should be able to jump Timbed here, and he jumps Ryan as well. Finds a lot of improvement in Sector 3 to go 10th fastest. That puts both Aston Martins in the top 10. Good effort from them. A lot of cars on outlaps right now. The first of those outlap cars is Matty in the Sauber. He has a 113.2. So, we'll see if he can find more improvement to get himself into the mix for potential points here. Been a bit of a struggle for Sauber. They sit 9th in the championship on 3 points. Which I believe after Silverstone, Williams had a decent showing last time out, so Sauber are most likely last, and no Ridian this week either, so he won't be racing here in the streets of Monaco, but Matty will take the reins of the Sauber team and start his next run. Using all of that curb into Saint-Devote, trying to gain as much lap time as he can. Third gear, loses traction through. And, oh, he's almost at the wall. He has hit the wall. Matty, not what he would have wanted to start his final runs. There's 2 minutes left. He'll have time. Oh god, voice crack. He'll have time to do another lap. Who is on a lap? We have Rhythms on a lap, who has found a 10th of improvement. He's one of the big hitters here in qualifying, and now he's backed out. I saw him hit the wall into Mirabeau, so that'll cost him there. Mark Kenjelsen has invalidated as well. No time for him. Gobert not on a lap. Doesn't look like there's many cars on laps right now. So we'll head over to VRL Mickey with a 10.1. Let's see if he can find more improvement to get into the 109s. Resilience could have, but a mistake led him to back out, and a crash from Mickey. He crashes out of qualifying. Well, he's still in it, but with that front wing damage, that'll do it for VRL Mickey. He is out of the fight for pole position. Rhythms has one final chance here to do some good. Invalid for Ardell. Ryan comes across the line for a 10.6. He's found good improvement. That'll do it for his qualifying. P7 is the best he can do. Resilience starts his final run as well. But we turn to Rhythms, who's had another go here. Let's see what he can do. Through the hairpin. He's got a little traffic ahead. That's Merkenjalsen. I believe is on a time too. Yes. So there is a chance for Rhythms to run into traffic here coming through the third sector, which is not what he would want. Another driver about to finish a lap time. SV, with about 10 seconds left, might get another run in, but he'll have no ERS. So this will be his final run for a representative time, and it's a 10.7. Not enough to... Oh my goodness me, SV! SV chucks his car to the wall in Sandoval. Now that's some heroics if I've ever seen them. So we'll turn to Ardell. Coming through the swimming pool. 4/10 of improvement. Mickey is done. Third for him. Rhythms with a 10.2. Only fifth. And he's exceeded track limits. Has Ardell. That's it for him. So we turn to Neymar, who has found a 10th of improvement, pushing the absolute limits of that Red Bull through the swimming pool sector, through the Nouvelle Chicane. I'm sorry. This is the swimming pool section here, and he is up by an insane margin of 3/10 now. Neymar absolutely sending it here at Monaco through the final sector. DRS applied. Here he comes to the line. It's going to be a 9.5. What a time by Neymar. Bartu's invalidated. Bazestio's invalidated. Snowy, I believe, invalidated as well. That'll do it for qualifying. Neymar on pole by half a second over the next car. Incredible showing by the man who won at Silverstone. He's trying to win, I believe would be his third race of the season. Incredible scenes. A 9.5 by Neymar puts him on pole. Resilience in second. Mickey third. Bartu fourth. Rhythms P5. Bazestio sixth. Brian seventh. SV eighth. Gobert ninth. Ardell rounding out the top 10. Both Williams not setting lap times due to qualifying bans. So that'll do it for them. They'll start at the back. We'll see what they can do on a track where it's almost impossible to overtake unless the driver ahead of you makes a mistake. Neymar absolutely locked in for that final run. That's what Invade just said in the Tier 3 chat. Incredible time from him. And remember, with the 2025 rulings, Monaco is a mandatory two-stop race, so they do have to think about that. Now, the only other lap times we have to compare what Neymar just did is have a look at Tier 2's Monaco run, which a 9.5 from Neymar would have put him in the top 6. It would have put him around where Penguin was, who also set his time in a Red Bull. So, it is a very respectable lap time that he has set to go into the 109s. But we'll await the drivers to select their strategies. Of course, two stops being mandatory, we are bound to see some different strategical options, which I am excited to see. They've been told to ready up at 29. So, as we wait for these guys to finish up the rest of their strategies, we'll have a look at what they've done. Top 4 on mediums, Rhythms Bezestio on hards. It's a good mix. And then we have Jensen Snowy on the soft tire. Interesting choice from him. But this should be a very exciting race. They'll be readying up shortly. Monaco always presents a little bit of terrorism. We'll see if we get any safety cars today. It is a track where, even though crashes are bound to happen, safety cars rarely do. It's going to take a big incident for an actual safety car to come out here. But here we go. It's time to find out who will win in Monaco in 5 lights time. It's time to bring the action here in the Principality, and it's a great getaway from Neymar. And oh, they've crashed already. Cars in the wall. It's Neymar and VRL Mickey, the pole sitter in second place, have crashed. And I think something's happening, because it says Mert Ken-Galsen is on pole right here, is in P1 at the moment. There might have been a glitch of some sorts, but what is going on? Bartu is in P1, Resilience is in second. Look at the move in the hairpin by Ryan Ocon around the outside of Bezestio. That's a fantastic move there from Ryan Ocon, who's up into 5th. Up into 4th is SV as well. Bartu now leading the way after a glitch-filled terroristic lap 1. How about that? Bartu leads. Resilience in P2 as they go through the famous harbor around the swimming pool. I don't know what happened there at the start of that race. The entire grid order was completely bugging out. Speaking of bugging out, Ardell is bugging out because he's almost about to lose P7 to a V-carb of Gobert. He'll stay up, though. He'll stay alive. But it's Bartu that leads Resilience. Rhythms in 3rd, SV 4th, Ryan 1 second back in 5th. And how about a move here? How about Neymar on the inside? Now the outside of the Salaban. That is a stupendous move from Neymar around the outside of Casino to get the move done. That is brilliant driving from Neymar, the pole sitter, who got wrecked on lap 1. Trying to stay alive here. And he gets past the Salaban for 12th place. Front wing cam with him on the way towards the Nouvelle Chicane. There's your strategic options. Game says hard, medium. As Neymar tries to keep chasing cars down. Bezestio right on the back of Ryan here. We'll see if he is able to make the move. Ryan on mediums, Bezestio on hards. We'll have a look at the strategic options, but first, the biggest winner, SV and Track Racer. Track Racer up 5, SV up 4. Great stuff there. Jensen Snowy comes into the pits. He's pitted off those soft tires already. Track Racer, Mick and Yeltsin. They've gone wheel to wheel, and Track Racer has got the move done. Look at this by Neymar down the inside. And he gets another move done in the Casino section, this time on the inside of the left-hander. He's got past Merck and Yeltsin, and he's one position away from points. And oh, they've Constantina affected there, and that's costed Merck and Yeltsin. He's lost a place, and could be some wing damage from cars around him. Big loss of traction there from Neymar too. I don't know what happened there, but everybody just Constantina'd up. And it was just contact, and more contact. Timbed trying to defend from Track Racer now, who runs in P10. SV, after 3 laps, is already in the penalty club. How about that? Bezestio still trying to get past Ryan. He is in a real Mercedes sandwich right now. Losing huge amounts of traction. He's under pressure from Ardell. Ardell tries to go down the inside. He does. Contact made. They're both in the wall. And it was a very questionable move. But Ardell is through. Now Gobert. He's in the mix as well. He tries to get past Ardell, but he can't get it done. Heavy contact made. How about that from Neymar? He tries to pass Track Racer in the same part of the track. Down the inside in Mirabeau. Here comes Neymar. Still wheel to wheel. Through the hairpin now. Track Racer is through. The Salaban trying to go through as well. Neymar can't do it. He has to stay in P11 for just a little bit longer. Neymar, once again, was trying that move in Casino. Couldn't get it done. As he sits on the back of that Williams, the pole sitter of today's race. Has a long way to go to get back into the mix here, as he still sits towards the back of the grid in P11. But he's had a couple of really nice overtakes. But he's going to need some more, and he might need a little bit of help here on the strategy. Zestio on the back of Gobert now. It's really not worked out for him. Oh, Gobert has had a moment, and Bezestio's driven into the back of him. Gobert slid through turn 1, and here comes Bezestio down the inside in Casino. Can he get it done? Now it's the outside, trying to do the same move that Neymar did. The outside now, through Mirabeau, which is going to become the inside for the hairpin. He's trying to hang it out, and he's going to get it done. Great move from Bezestio. He is through on Gobert, up into 7th place. These guys are showing it is possible to make moves here in Monaco, but every move is hard fought and earned. And these guys are really showing it. Off the road goes Timbed. That could cost him here. Luckily, it hasn't. He'll stay ahead of Track Racer. And those two sit P9 and P10 respectively. But for how much longer with Neymar waiting in the wings? How about this from Track Racer? Tries to go by Timbed, who made another mistake. Contact made as Neymar drives into Track Racer, trying to get a move done. But there's just nowhere to go. Track Racer running out of ERS too. Could be a move here. Sliding and drifting through turn 1. I saw that from Gobert. These guys are fighting ferociously. How about this from Neymar? We're on the outside of Beau Rivage. Contact made. Trying the 2-for-1 special. Contact made. Neymar is through. Neymar's through. Goodness me. So much battling, so much action here in the early stages of this Grand Prix. And Neymar, all of a sudden, the 2-for-1 special puts him in P9 now. Timbed now runs in 10th place. They just all stacked up coming out of Sandavat. And it caused all of that mayhem. Speaking of mayhem, Ardell is causing a bit of a blockade here. Look at this from Neymar and Gobert. Gobert tried to get out of the way of Neymar, and he did in the end. Neymar now up into P8. And now Bezestio. He tried to pass Ardell earlier. He couldn't get it done. Ardell creating a bit of a roadblock. Trap Racer comes in to make his first of 2 pit stops today. Ardell, Bezestio, Neymar, Gobert, Timbed, and Salaban all in this train. As we finally get a chance to look at the battle for P1. We haven't looked at it at all because of the midfield scrapping. It's Bar 2, Resilience and Rhythms, running 1-2-3 at the moment. SV runs in 4th place, but with a 3-second penalty to his name, which will not help him at all. Into the Nouvelle Chicane we go. Bezestio Neymar, wheel to wheel, out of Portier. How about this from Neymar? He's trying to get another one. Inside of the tunnel. Contact made. They've crashed. They've had an incident. They've come together. And they're now running through each other as Bezestio will be ahead of Neymar, who now has lost his end plate. He's been trying really risky moves throughout the duration of this race. And that one finally catches up to him. Salaban gets a 3-second penalty to his name. Will we see Neymar come in? Yes, we will. Into the pits he goes. He'll have to get a new front wing put on that car. And it'll be a new set of hard tires. All of his hard work is now going to be undone. After that move on Bezestio has costed him dearly. Bar 2, though, will continue to lead the way here in this race. He's now got a 3-car train behind him. Resilience, Rhythms, and SV. None of them have really been thinking about overtakes here. Thinking about overtake, though. How about this? This is Bezestio and Ardell. Once again going wheel to wheel. Through the hairpin. Through Portier. Contact made again. Into the wall goes Bezestio. And he can't get the move done, as he sits directly behind Ardell. No ERS uses for both of them. Really defensive driving here from Ardell. Contact made. Off the road goes Ardell. They're still wheel to wheel. Ardell stays ahead of the Ferrari of Bezestio. Ooh, huge tank slapper from the Ferrari driver as well. And behind them, Timbed and Salaban are trying to go wheel to wheel too. But we watch Bezestio inside of Raskas and Anthony Nodes. That is not where you expect a pass. They're making contact. They're almost 3 wide here at Monaco. Gobert, 2-for-1 special. Round the outside of Sandavat. The heroics don't work out for him. Everybody stays as is. Contact! Crash! Ardell, the defense was way too much. Ardell has costed himself dearly. I don't know what he was thinking. Blocking at that part of the track. That has costed him incredibly. Gobert down the inside here at Mirabeau. Barges his way through. Gets the move done. Gobert into 8th place. Bezestio's through, but at the cost of his front wing. A big incident. They're going up Beau Rivage. Goodness me, what was Ardell thinking? That is not how you defend around Monaco. VRL Mickey also gets past Maddie. That is for P11. Remember, Mickey has already made a pit stop after tangling with Neymar on the opening lap of the race. So he's 1 stop in. Ryan comes into the pits. His safety net of Ardell is now gone, so he is going to box for a set of hard tires here on lap 10. Possestio also in the pits. And he's going to pit for new hards and a new front wing. Top 3 continue to run as is here. Bar2, Resilience, and Rhythms, and SV, though they have penalties. Well, SV has a penalty. And we have a yellow flag as well. I don't know who that was, but everybody running line and stern. Neymar's ahead of Tinbed. How about this train right here? We've had a bit of a moment with VRL Mickey. He is slow. Mickey is slow. He has let Ryan go. SV gets a second penalty for track limits. That's going to destroy his race in the event we get a safety car. But the top 4 have a 21-second lead over Salaban, who runs 5th at the moment, but he's yet to stop. Gobert yet to stop his 2. Rhythms, the first one to pit of the front runners. This is going to be huge here to see if he can come out ahead of these guys. Maddie, Jensen, Trat Racer, and Merkan all running together here. And something's happened to Vero Mickey. He has spun out. It could be like an equipment failure. Something's happened to him. I don't know what. He's almost driving like he's got a puncture. But out of the pits comes Rhythms. That was very close to see if he could have potentially had a moment with the commitment line or the exit line. Maddie, though, runs 5th for Sauber on hard tires with front wing damage. Jensen Snowy P6, Trat Racer P7. Rhythms, though, with his early pit stop, this could be looking very good as Mickey retires. He is the first retirement of the Monaco Grand Prix. Rhythms could come out in the lead of this race. Remember, this is how Neymar... Whoa! Contact made there! Jensen Snowy's through on Maddie. That's a double loss of overtakes made. Maddie's lost 2 positions as a result of what's happened. Ryan now needs to get past Maddie too. Maddie, does he defend? Here comes Ryan down the inside of Maddie into the Nouvelle Chicane. Off the road goes Maddie, and he's going to get a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. He should be able to get that removed. But we turn to Resilience, who's made a pit stop. Where does he come out in the grand scheme of things with Rhythms? It looks like Rhythms comes out ahead. Even with the cutting of turn 1 for Resilience, he's not going to come out ahead. It is Rhythms ahead of Resilience, which means Rhythms should have net P1. Snowy and Trat Racer, wheel to wheel and a Sandavat. Contact made. Snowy's through though. Jensen Snowy ahead of Trat Racer, who's ahead of Ryan. Neymar ahead of Merkan Yalcin. Ardell ahead of Maddie. Maddie comes into the pits. He'll drop to the back of the field. That should be pretty much everybody who's made at least one pit stop. A couple cars out there still need to make their first. But goodness, we action-packed here. Speaking of action-packed, Bar2 and SV have gone off the road. They've gone off in the swimming pool section. That's going to cost both of them heaps of time. And this will cost Bar2 the lead of the race. Tinbed going for a move. Trat Racer and Jensen going for moves. Trat Racer gets a penalty for corner cutting. Once again, just like Maddie, he should be able to get it removed. But this is not helping Trat Racer. He's got the undercut. He's got fresher tires than Jensen. But he can't get through on him. Through Rascas, bit of contact made, down the inside identity nodes. That's not where you see an overtake, but he's got it done. How about that from Trat Racer? And Neymar passes Ryan Ocon as well. Neymar up into P7. Jensen lets Neymar through up Beau Rivage. That's a gutsy place to let your senior driver through, but Jensen lets him go. Up into 6th place goes Neymar. Now he has to pass Trat Racer for P5. Remember, Neymar tried a really gutsy move on Possestio, and he had to pit for a front wing. And Salaban overtakes Merkan Yalcin for P10. But great recovery after boxing for a new wing for Neymar, who now has to overtake Trat Racer for P5. Both Bar2 and SV come into the pits for their first pit stop, which means Rhythms takes the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix. Resilient second, 2 seconds back. Bartu and SV will come out a fair amount behind. I believe Martin Janssen also lost another position to Gobert. He's going to have to make a pit stop. One of those videos. But Trap Racer doing great in 5th place right now, but you gotta wonder how much longer can he hold him off. And oh, crash! Jensen Snowy's crashed out of Sandoval. That is not what he would have wanted. That's gonna destroy his race. It's over for Jensen Snowy, and he's retired on track. That is a huge no-no in RPL. An on-track retirement. Luckily, we don't see a safety car. That is good. Bartu, after he was leading at one point, and now he's 11 seconds behind Rhythms. Jensen Snowy, though, our second retirement of the Grand Prix, but he's going to receive a big penalty for retiring on track. Trap Racer still holding off Neymar here. What a drive from Trap Racer, by the way. Remember, he started dead last. He had a quali ban, and he's managed to work his way all the way up to 5th place with hard work and determination. With the power of friendship at Williams, anything is possible. And Salaban is going to need the power of friendship to overtake Timbed here for P8. Timbed was playing drift cars through Sandoval at the end of his first stint. Salaban almost looked like he was thinking about a move up Beau Rivage. That would have been gutsy. Pit stop for Merkin Yeltsin. Pit stop for Ardell, who has no front wing. Ardell's race has gone from bad to worse. He's made his second stop, but with a new front wing, his chances of winning are very slim now. And Jensen Snowy leaves the session. Retired just about 2 laps ago, but he's going to get a fat penalty after the on-track retirement. Salaban looking for a move to get up into 8th place for Williams. That's big points for them. But with SV's Aston in 4th, it's not good. In the Williams versus Aston Martin battle, it's not what they would want. As there's a couple little scraps going on. You got Timbed Salaban, you got Trap Racer Neymar, and the lead fight as well between Rhythms and Resilience. They've lapped Ardell, by the way. Ardell was a lap down in 14th after making another pit stop for a new wing. But Resilience trying to chase down Rhythms. Red Bull, for the 2nd week in a row, make a good strategy call to get the lead of the race. This worked out for them once again. Last week it was Neymar benefiting. This week it's Rhythms benefiting. What a day it'd be for Rhythms to win on the streets of Monte Carlo, but he's got a long way to go and a very ferocious Ferrari waiting in the wings to make the overtake here. Resilience, he has said in chat before he believes in the title fight, and I thought he believed in an overtake in Sandoval. He thinks better of it. Resilience, he thinks he has a chance at winning the championship still. But if he wants to have a realistic shot, he has to pass Rhythms to win this race. He's got to win, or else there's basically no hope for him. Maddie gets a penalty. And speaking of penalties, we'll have a look at the penalty situation. Currently, SV and Trap Racer and Salaban all have 3-second penalties in the top 10. So does Gobert and Bezestio. Maddie, 9 seconds of penalties for the Sauber driver. Not the day he would have wanted. SV, though, even though he's got 6 seconds of penalties, the car's behind him. Trap Racer, 9 seconds back with a penalty of his own, who's still holding Neymar behind him. This is working out for SV to still finish in 4th place. But remember, as Bartu's gotten a penalty for warnings, Bartu's crashed! The Bartu's crashed out of the race! Ardell has crashed in the swimming pool, and we have a safety car! Safety car deployed And this is completely cut off Rhythms and Resilience. They still have to make their second stops, but they've come out behind the safety car. SV pits. Bar 2, after crashing in the Nouvelle chicane, he's crashed again. Bar 2 crashes, and he's out. Bar 2 crashes out. Neymar pits. Track Racer pits. What drama here in Monaco. The top 2, and Ryan's gotten a 10-second penalty. That absolutely sucks for him. What has happened here in Monaco? What on earth has happened? Ardell crashed coming out of the swimming pool section. He retired from the race. Rhythms and Resilience, by the way, they've been completely destroyed by this. They still have to pit. They gotta make a pit stop here. If we look at the stops made, top 4 still need to make another pit stop. SV is the first of the guys that have made their second pit stop who could go to the end of the race. SV, though, on mediums, has to take those a little way. These two are expected to pit, though, but with a 25-second gap, they should be okay. They both pit now. These guys behind, they're a ways back. We'll see if Gobert comes out of the pits. Let's see if Gobert can come out ahead of these guys. I don't think he'll be able to because they're being held back by the pit delta. Gobert stays out. In comes Bezestio. But here out comes Rhythms and Resilience. They've benefited from this, and they're lucky. With how big of a gap they've had, they still come out up front. Gobert stays out. SV and Track Racer are going to be in net podium places. Neymar, he also made a pit stop, comes out ahead of Bezestio. Ryan, now with a 10-second penalty to his name. Not good for him. A double DNF for McLaren, which will effectively take them out of the Constructors' Championship fight, realistically. That is not what they would have wanted. A Mercedes out of the race, another Mercedes with a 10-second penalty, a Ferrari down the order. This has the makings for a completely jumbled up podium. But Rhythms and Resilience, your top 2 in this race, they got lucky here to pit and still come out in first and second. But with a lot of penalties to some of these drivers' names, who knows what we might see here. Neymar still has a great chance to get himself into the podium places, being in P6, but without a penalty. If he can get out of this without a penalty, he'll be looking really good. Gobert, though, still has to make his second pit stop, so I don't really know why, to be honest. He has stayed out here. Sure, he runs third, but still with a second pit stop to make. That could just be tragic to his race. He may not even come out of this with points. Speaking of points, Sauber have a chance at getting a point out of this. If more calamity happens, we could see Matty finish into the points. Merck and Yeltsin as well, I believe, making their RPL debut, so there is a lot on the line here. Because we still have about 20 laps to go here at Monaco. After all this action, we're only at about half distance, which is absolutely insane to think about. But the safety car should be in this lap. We didn't see a safety car in the Tier 2 race last season at Monaco. There were no safety cars, so this is the first Monaco safety car, and it's completely mixed things up here. But Rhythms leading the way. Safety car in this lap. and he'll dictate the pace here. What can Rhythms do here to stay in the lead ahead of Resilience? Gobert, currently sitting in the podium places, but with a second pit stop to make. Resilience almost spins out, and that's all Rhythms needs to get going. Green flag back in the air. We're racing again here at Monaco. And Gobert lets SV go. SV runs in third. Gobert smacks the wall. And side by side, contact made. Track Racer's through as well. Track Racer gets past. I think the plan for Gobert was to hold up Track Racer as best as he can. It's not happened. Down the inside goes Neymar too. Neymar up in the 5th place. SV runs in third on the medium tires, but he's got a long way to go. Zestio and Ryan almost going wheel to wheel through the hairpin. Oof, wow, Zestio right on the back of Gobert. Gobert losing place after place here. Here comes Zestio down the inside into the Nouvelle Chicane. Can't get it done, but he gets the switchback of dreams on Gobert. Round the outside and to back. That is a class move from Zestio. What a job there by Zestio to get past Gobert. Now, have a look at Resilience. 3/10 away from Rhythms. He's still looking for the lead of this race. But for SV, his chance of a podium is now very slim with that safety car. He's got 6 seconds of penalties. Neymar has 0. Ryan and Gobert wheel to wheel through Casino now. Side by side. A little bit of contact made. Ryan's through on Gobert, who is still losing places. Merkin Yalcin overtakes Maddie as well. The yellow flag is temporarily out for Maddie too, but he's going again. It is all happening here at Monaco. Gobert tried to be defensive, but those hard tires are destroying him. How about this from Salaban? Tried to go by in the tunnel, couldn't get it done. Merkin Yalcin's gone off, coming out of Portier. That's ruined him. He's been overtaken by Maddie. And goodness me, Salaban trying to overtake Gobert. Gobert still trying to take those hards as long as he can. Still with a pit stop to make. Salaban trying to go for a move. Thinks about it down the inside of Sandoval. He does! There's a little bit of contact made, but that's a bit of a clumsy move there by Salaban. Cannot do that right there. You gotta get a lot more alongside than that if you're gonna go for the move. Tinbed's joined the party with those guys now. Track Racer still holding up Neymar. These guys are all in that lead train led by Rhythms. These two are trying to pull away from SV, who still runs in third. Gotta make sure you do not hit that wall at this stage of the race, especially if you are Rhythms with a championship on the line. Neymar, 3/10 away from Track Racer in 4th place, still without a penalty. He is trying his best to get by Track Racer. He tried earlier in the race, but he just couldn't get it done. Neymar, a bit too far back to go for a move. He'll have to wait a little bit longer. And then behind these guys, the 3-car train of Gobert, Salaban, and Tinbed. This is all for points, by the way. 8th, 9th, and 10th on the road for these 3 drivers. So they are still fighting for something here, as Salaban looking for a move down the inside of Casino. He's trying to get it done, but Gobert holds the outside, and still Salaban has to wait for a move. Great defense from Gobert. Here comes Salaban in the hairpin. Hairpin overtake. You don't see him every day. Now the outside. Through Portier we go. How about this from Salaban? He gets it done. Neymar's crashed out. Neymar crashes out. He's hit the inside wall. in the Nouvelle chicane. And we have a virtual safety car. He's had such a good race going for him. And Neymar is out of this race. Such a good recovery drive. All for naught. SV pits from third place. A gutsy call for SV, who I believe has already made 2 stops in this race. He pits for another set of mediums, and we're green again. He's gonna lose time. He might even lose out to this 3-car train of Salaban, Gobert, and Timbed. Salaban, by the way, managed to make the move to get by Gobert. SV has made a decision that has costed him the podium of this race. Gobert gets a penalty of his own. Track Racer runs in third place for Williams. Remember, Ryan, though he has a 10-second penalty, he can get that removed. A couple of these guys have 3s they can remove because they straight up cut corners. So, there is that to think about. But that is your penalty situation as things currently stand. Goodness me, what has this race turned into? Absolute calamity. SV has got the 2-for-1 special on Timbed. Timbed, I think he just straight-lined the chicane he did. SV's through on Gobert and Timbed there. We completely missed that scrap. SV was pitted for fresh mediums again, and he's got another penalty, and he's almost crashed through the swimming pool section. That'll destroy his race. R.I.P. SV. He's pretty much taken himself out of podium contention with that pit stop. Track Racer might be able to get to the end of this race. Resilience still trying to pass Rhythms here, but he can't get it done. Track Racer 2.4 seconds back on the lead of this race. You never know. You just never know if he could get himself into the fight for the lead. We've seen a lot of crashes here today. But do you expect 2 of the best in this championship to crash out? And Track Racer, who has just come back to RPL in his return here with Williams in the 3rd tier, he has taken advantage of the mistakes of others, and he's just gotten himself another penalty. That puts him at 6 seconds. SV and Salaman wheel to wheel. SV, another move for him up into P6, but 9 seconds of penalties is not helping his cause. Luckily for Track Racer, that 3 isn't costing him, but how about this? Rhythms and Resilience are running right next to each other now. They were almost side by side coming into Casino. That was the closest Resilience has been, but he can't get the move done just yet. And Ryan, if he can get the 10-second removed, could be looking at a podium here. He has 7 seconds back on Track Racer, I believe. Yeah, he has 7 seconds back. As long as he doesn't fall to 10 back, this could be a podium for Ryan. His first podium of the season, and Mercedes' first podium of the season. They've been struggling all throughout. What a day that'd be for him. He would have to get it in the steward's office, but getting a podium here in Monaco is no easy task. But what's even harder is getting a win, and that's what these 2 are fighting for here at the front of this field. Resilience, 2/10 away, 1/10 away. Still can't get the move done on Rhythms. He has to stay back. Rhythms is trying to do everything he can to get this done. And now, the battle for P9, by the way, between Maddie and Merck and Yalcin. These 2 having a bit of a scrappy scrap ahead of Gobert. With 11 cars left in this race, they are fighting for something here. But we'll head back to the battle up front, unless these guys start scrapping even harder. Nothing going there. Back to the 9th place fight. And it looks like Maddie stays ahead. Let's have a look at their penalty situation. 9 seconds for Maddie, so that'll put him back into P11. Unfortunate for him. How about that from Gobert down the inside of Casino? That's a good little move there by Gobert. And he's going to try and get by Maddie as well. Into Mirabeau. Had a look. Can't get it done. Rhythms has got a penalty. Rhythms gets a penalty that's taking him out of contention. Unless he can pull a gap from Brazilians. A huge penalty from Rhythms with 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix. He has got a penalty that might just cost him the win of this race. Gobert and Maddie, wheel to wheel. Maddie's had to go off the road, and it's cost him P10 as well. Gobert up to 9th. Martin Jelson up to 10th. But Rhythms, a penalty. Does Resilience have any warnings to his name? He only has 1. He needs 2 more than does Resilience. But all he needs to do is keep it on the island, and he'll win. Into the pits comes Maddie. That'll end pretty much any chance he has of scoring a point. Unfortunate for him. But this is the fight on track. This is the closest battle on track. But all Resilience needs to do now is cruise this car home. And also, in the track limit penalty fight for 3rd place, I believe it's sitting at around 9.8 seconds between Trap Racer and Ryan. Ryan needs to push harder, because it's about 10 seconds to the dot between Trap Racer and Ryan. Ryan also has SV in the wings. Ryan is starting to lose his grasp on the podium. Salaban comes into the pits on the mediums. Couldn't go any longer. Possestio, now he might have to start thinking about pitting on his medium tires. Perhaps he can't go much longer in his set, too. There is still strategic options on the table here. As Gobert overtakes the Salaban, who pits for 7-lap old hard tires, because it's probably all he had left in the tank. And he's going to come out right next to Merkin Jelson. But Merkin comes through. And SV and Ryan wheel to wheel. SV has overtaken Ryan, who falls out of 3rd place in the fight for the podium. In the event he would have gotten his penalty removed to begin with. Which means Trap Racer now might just have a hand on that 3rd place. Unless Possestio can gain even more on him. And here we go, side by side with Resilience and Rhythms. And Resilience, after so much fighting, finally goes through on Rhythms. He has got the lead of this race on track now. He had it on penalties before, but now he can finally say he properly leads the Monaco Grand Prix. Through goes Resilience. Possestio has had to pit from 4th place. He couldn't make the mediums last any longer. He pits for a 2nd set of mediums, which puts him in 7th. Merkin Jelson also makes a pit stop to put him in P10, but through goes Resilience, who now leads this race. And Maddie, another penalty to his name. All Resilience has to do is get home cleanly. That is it. What a race we have had today here at Monte Carlo. Some crashes, a safety car, some fantastic overtakes along the way too. And it's led to this, Resilience leading the way for Ferrari, but no victory at Monaco is guaranteed until you cross the line at the end of the race. The walls are always threatening. One lockup, one late braking move away from crashing out of this race. You could tell that to Jensen. You could tell that to Ardell. You could tell that to Bartu or Neymar. All 4 of them have had moments. Resilience temporarily ghosted. Possestio overtakes Timbed for 6th place. That was probably Timbed letting him go. 14 lap old hards versus fresh mediums. As Bezestio tries to get towards Ryan for a potential overtake for 5th place, but he's got to close a 10-second gap to do so. Rhythms knows all he has to do is just get to the end of this race, because the drivers behind him all have larger penalties than he does. So, as long as he can just get to the end of this race, it'll be damage limited, and a Ferrari win, potentially, in 7 laps' time. Can Resilience get it done for Ferrari here at Monaco? "14-lap-old hard tires on Resilience's car." Then you just start to wonder, can they even get these tires to the end of the race? Some incredible scenes here. But if we go to the last time Tier 3 raced here at Monaco, Tier 3 Season 4, it was Ferrari that won that day as well, with SV picking up the win for Ferrari. It was Timbed who finished 2nd for McLaren, Mally41 3rd for Mercedes. Neski for Alpine finished 4th that day as well. A fantastic race for them. Alpine, though, still running the points with Merkan Yalcin, who pitted again for medium tires. He should be able to finish in P10 for the Alpine team. So back-to-back points in Monaco for the French outfit. Good job for them, but even better job for Williams if Track Racer can get to the end with 6 laps to go. Gobert penalty. SV still trying to just bring this car home for a Williams podium. Williams, of course, almost had a chance at a podium last week in Silverstone with Armchair Bike, who had a fantastic drive trying to get himself onto the podium. It wasn't meant to be. He had a bit of a moment out of the final corner, which was unfortunate, but Williams in the 3rd tier have yet to have a podium this game cycle. Williams' last podium to date was from Mally41's title-winning campaign in Tier 3 Season 4, where he scored multiple podiums for Williams en route to a championship after dominating with Mercedes in the opening part of that season. The tier coordinator did everything right in Season 4 to become champion. Resilience is doing everything right at the moment to get himself to the end of this race. 1.1 seconds now between himself and Rhythms. Rhythms slowly losing it. Of course, these guys are on very old tires, mind you. 16 laps, 17 laps on Track Racer and Bezestia, or Track Racer and Ryan. Even then, SV's on the mediums. Those mediums have fallen off at this point, and he's still 9 seconds behind. But also, Bezestio, remember, he was 10 seconds back on Ryan not too long ago. He has managed to catch Ryan Ocon here. Remember, Ryan, he's got a little something to fight for if his 10-second penalty does get removed. So, Bezestio is still a man on a mission to get himself into decent paying positions. Here comes Bezestio, still trying to get by. Ryan playing the defensive maneuvers here, trying to stay ahead of the Ferrari driver. Bezestio has to wait a little bit longer to get by the Mercedes. We look at penalties between these guys. Ryan has a 10 that could be removable, but Bezestio has a 3, so he'll have to get by Ryan and pull 3 seconds on him. We've had a yellow flag. Gobert has crashed out, and we have a safety car. Safety car deployed at the very end of the Monaco Grand Prix. Gobert crashes out with just a couple laps to go. And just like that, another safety car here at the very end of the Monaco Grand Prix, just when we thought everything was decided, that is no longer the case. What do you do now if you're up front? And especially with the guys with penalties as well. Ryan, with a potential removable 10-second penalty, he's just got to keep it clean, and he could see himself on the podium here. Trap Racer with 6 seconds of penalties. SV with 9. Timbed with no penalties to his name. And Merkin Yeltsin has got a penalty for he's got a drive-through for speeding under the safety car. Can't do that. As he pits for soft tires. Gobert has absolutely mixed things up here in Monaco at the very end. In comes Resilience. No, he doesn't. He stays out. The top two both staying out. Rhythms also has overtaken Resilience. I wonder if he'll have to let Resilience back through. Resilience faked the dummy to overtake. He faked the dummy, and that has not worked out. Trap Racer pits for softs. SV pits for softs. Ryan stays out, and so does Bezestio. These two are staying out, and out of the pits comes Trap Racer in 3rd place, but the safety car is guaranteed to come in this time. SV comes out of the pits in 6th place, and now it just comes down to, can these guys get up to the safety car? It will pit this time. There are 10 cars left here in the Monaco Grand Prix, and only 2 cars who are even at the safety car. Ryan on 19 lap old, hard tires, has a chance to do something really special here for Mercedes to get their first podium of the season, depending on if he gets his penalty removed in the steward's office. But as it stands, we could be celebrating a Trap Racer podium, and also Rhythms with that penalty of his own is not helping his cause. The penalty situation will completely mix things up, but the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. Safety car in this lap. It's only 3 cars here in this lead train. They'll try to go as soon as they can to keep it a 3-car train. Ryan gets into the mix now. He's towards the back of it on his age-old tires. But we are green here. Green flag in the air. And we're racing again. Trap Racer all over the back of Resilience on fresh, soft tires. He's going to have the grip. He's going to have the speed. He's going to go wheel to wheel. In barrage. Contact made. Round the outside. Through Casino we go. Through goes Trap Racer. Up into 2nd place. Trap Racer runs 2nd now here at Monaco. Now he's got to get past Rhythms to take the lead of the race on fresh, soft tires. Barging his way through, tries to get past, ran the outside of Portier, can't get it done, tries to go down the inside of the 2nd half. Here we go for the lead of the race. Trap Racer takes the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix for Williams. Trap Racer leads the way, but with penalties to his name. Goodness me. Remember, you gotta consult the gap for the lead. Ryan, 10 seconds back. But look at the gaps now. We have to look at this with Trap Racer. 6 seconds of penalties to his name. He's got to pull a big gap here. 2.2 between himself and Resilience. Resilience still leads this race off of the post-race penalties. Bezestio now on the back of Resilience. DRS enabled. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Tag Heuer. Here we go. Trap Racer is going to win this race on track. But when it comes to the penalties, it's probably going to be all for naught for him. Rhythms leads the way here. Trap Racer leads the way. Rhythms in 2nd. Resilience 3rd, but leads this race off penalties. What has this race turned into at the very end? Salavan gets the fastest lap of the race for Williams in the other car. Trap Racer pitted for soft tires. It's worked out a treat for him. Gap 4.9 seconds. Gap 5 seconds. It's looking better and better now for Salaban. And the gap is now 10 seconds between Trap Racer and Ryan. Ryan's now out of this fight for the win. And Track Racer might actually win this race here. Gap 5.5 seconds. Gap is now 6 seconds to Resilience. Track Racer has taken advantage of this safety car to an absolute treat. Here comes Track Racer through the final corner. And in the Principality, Williams reigns supreme. Track Racer wins the Monaco Grand Prix. Rhythm's in second place. Resilience will take it off the penalties. Rhythm's third. Possessio fourth. SV fifth. Ryan in sixth. Timbed seventh. Salaban will take eighth place. Timbed in P6 after the penalties are said and done. But the late safety car gives Track Racer the win of the Monaco Grand Prix. Track Racer wins for Williams when the top two elected to stay out. That is absolutely incredible. The one thing Mally couldn't do for Williams, Track Racer pulls off. Williams, for the first time, I believe, in their Tier 3 lives, are Grand Prix winners. Unbelievable. From last to first, Track Racer wins the Monaco Grand Prix for Williams. And that is the most obvious driver of the day I have ever had the pleasure of giving. Resilience and Rhythms, I don't know why neither of them elected to pit. They both tried to stay out to preserve their track position, but on fresh, soft tires, 20-lap fresher tires, Track Racer takes advantage, overtakes both of them, and pulls a 6-second gap to win in Monaco. Race win to Track Racer. Fastest lap, Salaban. Driver of the day is Salaban. He deserves that wholeheartedly. Absolutely incredible. Williams win the Monaco Grand Prix with Track Racer. Resilience in second. Rhythms third. Possessio fourth. SV fifth. Timbed sixth. Ryan seventh. Salaban eighth. Maddie ninth for Sauber. And Merkin Yalcin rounds it out in P10. Absolutely incredible stuff. Williams win for the first time in Tier 3. I cannot believe what I've just witnessed. From dead last to P1 at Monaco. That has certainly never happened in the history of RPL in any tier. A driver going from last to first in the Principality. Track Racer has done it. And Williams are winners in Tier 3. Absolutely incredible stuff. Nobody would have expected that. Unbelievable stuff. That'll do it for Tier 3 here at Monaco. I don't know what else you could have expected from a race. Williams on top here in the Principality with Track Racer. In his return to the league, by the way, he made every strategy call correctly, got himself in a position, and he wholeheartedly deserves the victory. And make sure you join us next week, where Tier 3 go to Singapore for Round 8 at the Singapore Grand Prix. Another street circuit for them. The last street circuit, potentially of the season, as Round 9 is a mystery track for them. Tier 2, tomorrow, goes to Shanghai for the Chinese Grand Prix. The first time Tier 2 has raced in China this game cycle. And make sure you join Tier 1, who are in Mexico for the Mexican Grand Prix. We'll see what fantastic things happen there. Surely not as action-packed and exciting as the race we had in store for us today, which saw Williams win in the third tier for the first time. You'll never see anything like it. Unbelievable. But make sure you join us next week for more thrilling RPL action. I am Beatnik714 signing off saying thank you for watching. We hope to see you next time.